Hello everybody, it's Anna and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today's video is going to be a wrap-up of the Plug and Read-athon, which was co-hosted by Kathy Tryhart and Zach Loves Books and took place last week from the 10th to the 17th of March. Go ahead and have my trusty notebook here, so let's go ahead and wrap up the books that I managed to read, some that I didn't finish and might not, and some that I'm still currently working on. So out of the two books that I did finish, the first one was Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole. This was a romance novella about two queer women of color in New York City. One of them is an assistant to a prince, an African prince, and the other one is a Haitian American immigrant, and they had a sort of like brief, passionate fling for each other. There was some ghosting involved, but, you know, romance novels being what they are, the two of them wound up with a really good, happy ending. I think that I really did enjoy this book. I think if you're a fan of romance or queer romance, you'll really like it. But I've just come to the conclusion that romance as a genre is just probably going to be largely hit or miss for me. I can understand why other people really enjoy it, but there are parts of just like, I don't know, conventions and things of like typical romance stories that I just don't really like buy into in the same way. Like, I always want to take the characters and knock their heads together and go, but if you would just talk about this, you would know, you would be able to solve all of your problems. But that is in no way a knock towards the book. I thought that the writing was excellent, the characterization was great. Obviously, it's fantastic to see more diversity, especially within romance, but literature in general as well. I just don't think that the genre is really for me, except for some exceptions, but it was good. I also finished reading Laughing at My Nightmare, which is a memoir by Shane Burcaw. I actually just recently learned who he was because I saw him mentioned on another YouTuber's channel. And basically, Shane is a young person that was born with a really rare form of muscular dystrophy. And this is like his memoir about funny stories about growing up, his life, you know, his experience as a disabled person, and the nonprofit foundation that he started to help people deal with adversities in their life through the power of laughter. I thought that this book was really funny. It was a very easy, kind of breezy read that I got through pretty quickly, and it did make me laugh out loud at a couple points, so I'm glad that I read that. Now on to the books that I wasn't able to finish. So my webcomic, I did not finish Yes, I'm Hot in This by Huda Fahmy. I am going to keep reading it, however. It was just that with Emerald City Comic Con going on this past weekend, a lot of my comic reading was taken up getting caught up for things where I wanted to meet the authors or the artists at the convention. So I actually spent most of my comic reading time this week doing that. The other book that I did not finish is Karamo by Karamo Brown. This is another memoir, and it's by one of the Fab Five guys from the new Netflix Queer Eye series. This book is good. I just didn't finish it because it actually contained a fair amount of pretty triggering material for me. Things like, you know, intimate partner violence, descriptions of abuse, of assault, things like that. And this also does contain some pretty serious discussion of the more gnarly parts of life, you know, things like alcoholism, drug addiction, people contemplating suicide and stuff like that. And so I think that while this book is really interesting and it is of course a really powerful story, I might not be in the right headspace to read this at the moment. So I've set it aside temporarily, and I'll probably pick it back up again when I feel like I'm in, you know, a better position in terms of mental health to read it. So if you do want to read that book, just be aware going in, take a break if you have to, all that good stuff. And then the final book, which is one that I am nowhere even near finishing, but I'm trying my best, is Orlando Furioso by Ludovico Ariosto. Got the name right on the first try. And this is a book that I am doing as a read-along with Fariba from The Medieval Reader. She had suggested that a few of us get together and read together it's a really long, epic medieval poem. I guess maybe not medieval, it was published in the 1500s. But it's a really long, epic poem in Italian about sort of knights and the questions of, you know, feminine virtue and the redemption of characters that are not Christian in the sort of like very Christian medieval Europe framework. It is really, really, really long. I am reading this on my Kindle, so I am counting it as part of the Plug and Read-athon, and according to the little feature that helps you see how fast you're reading, I think it's gonna take me like 16 hours to finish the book. But it's really beautifully written. Like, obviously, some things that you read as a modern reader do sit kind of a little bit strange. There's, you know, a lot of discussion of like the racism that existed in medieval Europe, of the problems of violence against women and women's places in society. But it does remind me a lot of the sort of progressive, more progressive at least, like proto-feminist thoughts of Christine de Pizan, who I read last year. I'll go ahead and link the video that I made about reading her Book of the City of Ladies, which I had never read in its entirety until I read it last year. So I am enjoying the experience of reading Orlando Furioso. I think it is a little bit more of a book to be admired than loved, mostly because you just sit down and you kind of let the poetry of it take you away. But, I mean, I won't pretend that... yeah, anyway, yeah, you just sort of let the poetry of the book take you away. So I'm hoping to get... I don't know how quickly I'm going to read through it by the end of the month, but I'm hoping to get a more significant amount of it read before the end of the month of March, which is when we were planning on having read the entire thing. That's probably not going to happen for me, but I am looking forward to wrapping that up eventually when it is finished. So that is all of the books that I read for the Plug and Read-athon. I don't know if any of you participated in the read-athon, but if you did, leave me little notes down below in the comments to let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel if you haven't done so already. That way you'll get notifications whenever I post. Thank you all so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.